Hey there, I am so excited to be with you here today. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Vanessa Van Edwards, and I am the best-selling author of Captivate, the Science of Succeeding with People. And today I am so excited to be able to talk to you about cultivating calm, building optimism, and beating burnout, even in difficult times. I'm sure, like many of you, you are waking up every day just wondering what the world has in store for us. And so what I wanted to share today were 3 very specific tips, things that we can do to harness our own behavior in a way that works for us. And there was an old piece of psychology that resurfaced for me at the beginning of this pandemic, and it brought me tremendous relief, and I wanted to share it with you. This is the idea of a locus of control. What research has found is that a locus of control is how much we feel in control of our own destiny. So the more we feel in control of the outcomes and actions and our behavior in our life, the more satisfied and happy we feel. The less we feel in control of the outcomes, actions, and behavior in our life, the more depressed and out of control and more burned out we feel. And they realize, these researchers, that there are 2 different kinds of people. There are people with an external locus of control, and there are people with an internal locus of control. When I read this science, it was like they were hitting me to my core. I realized very quickly that I have an external locus of control. So people with an external locus of control, it means that you believe a lot of things in your outside circumstances affect your internal behavior. So everything from a bad email from a colleague or a boss ruins your entire day. Or good feedback or a nice compliment on Facebook or social media makes your entire happiness, makes you light up. Unlike feeling like you have an internal source of control over that happiness. Or the numbers in your bank account define your level of success. Or the number of followers you have define your popularity. Compliments, external things happen to you, that's what dictates your internal sense of happiness. What they found is that people who have an external locus of control get burned out more quickly because they're less in control of their feelings. They're more moody or sensitive because things affect them more quickly. And lastly, they have a hard time riding the way. In a time like this, having an external locus of control is detrimental to feeling balanced. Right now, we have very little control over the things that are happening to us, right? We might be in social distancing, or maybe we are losing our job, or our job is changing. We're not able to get out or do the self-care that we're used to doing. And so I realized that this is the perfect time to begin to flip into or dial up our internal locus of control. And the good news is we can absolutely change this. So folks with an internal locus of control, they feel like they can control their destiny and their actions. They have an internal sense of confidence and self-worth. They might get a bad email from a colleague, but have enough sense of self in their values and in their capability that they know that they're going to be okay. Or they are able to do the things in their life to self-calm and regroup and recenter. They know the things that they can do to get back self-calm. My goal for you is to begin to figure out how you can dial up your internal locus of control. So the very first way that I want you to do this is by creating something that I like to call a learning bucket list. So this is one of my favorite activities, and it's a great way to dial up that internal sense of control. So a learning bucket list is all the things you want to learn in your lifetime. So I want to ask you a couple of questions, and if you have a pen and paper, I highly encourage you to do some journaling, and you can pause the video if you need to. First, what skill have you always wanted to learn? Second, what thing have you always wanted to try? Lastly, is there something you've always been curious about but haven't really dove into it? My goal is for you to begin to create a list, and these can be big things like traveling the world or skydiving, but they can also be, and should also be, smaller things like learning how to make sushi, or learning how to give your partner a massage, or learning how to grow a garden, or things in the middle like learning a foreign language or learning how to program or code. The longer this list is, the better, and I want you to begin to order it. So you want the easiest, smallest things up top, and the bigger things towards the bottom, the things that you work towards or work for towards the bottom. Just the act of making this list is going to produce dopamine. See, I think I have dopamine. I have all my favorite chemicals on my wall. So dopamine is right over here. Dopamine is the chemical of excitement and pleasure. When we begin to think of the things we want to learn, we actually trigger our own chemical of excitement. That is a secret way to dialing up your internal locus of control. If you say to yourself, I have always been wanting to learn how to speak Spanish, that gets you excited. That triggers dopamine, which then makes you feel like, I probably could learn Spanish. I could download a couple of apps. I could call an old friend up and see if she'd be willing to practice with me. Those are all ways that we begin to take back our sense of control. So I want you to make that learning bucket list and start with the really small items, the things that are easy wins. Okay, second thing I want you to do is create some rituals in your life. So I think that we undervalue the importance of ritual, especially in a time right now where we feel like we have nothing the same. There are no more rituals. A lot of our morning run, our morning Sunday morning brunch out, our happy hour with friends, some of those things have been changed or modified. Now is a really important time to actually bring rituals back into your life. And these don't have to be big. I want you to look at your entire day. Again, if you're willing, get a pen and paper and write out your typical day, your average day. And then I want you to begin to think about your ideal day. So on your ideal day, now, I have to make a caveat here. We are in less than ideal circumstances. So of course, this is not your ideal day. It's your practical ideal day or your realistic ideal day. So right now, with your current circumstances, what does your realistic ideal day look like? What kind of rituals can you add to your day to set you up for success? Research has found that even the smallest of rituals, even having a morning wake-up routine, as simple as I get up, I make a beautiful cup of coffee, I have a cinnamon stick to stir it, I listen to music while I brush my teeth, even those small rituals, if they're purposeful, they bring you joy. And here's the biggest difference. If you're on autopilot, they do not trigger any dopamine. Autopilot is the opposite of any kind of pleasure. When you're purposeful with those things, when you say, I'm going to listen to my favorite music when I brush my teeth, or I'm going to think of everything I'm grateful for when I take my dog out to pee in the morning, those small rituals give you something to look forward to. They add purpose, and they also add predictability. Hence your internal locus of control. So I want you to think of all the different times in your day where you could add a 30-second to 2-minute ritual. The smaller the better on this one. Okay, last tip for you here is shared rituals. So research has found that shared rituals are one of the best ways to produce oxytocin and serotonin. So these are my other favorite chemicals. So serotonin is the chemical of belonging. Now I'm simplifying these chemicals quite a bit. I only have 10 minutes with you. But serotonin and oxytocin are the chemicals of connection and belonging. And having shared rituals helps you create a sense of group identity. It helps you feel connected to people. And that helps cultivate calm. So even in the most difficult times, if you can set up shared rituals, virtual happy hours, watching things on Netflix together, doing a Netflix party, Tuesday learning. So one of the things that I do in my life on my team is every Tuesday we send out our favorite TED Talk and we watch it on our own time, and then over lunch we discuss it. Or with my group of friends, we always send gifts and memes on Fridays. So that's one thing that we always look forward to. Even those really small, sometimes asynchronous virtual shared rituals produce oxytocin. They've even found that we can produce oxytocin through a webcam. So there you go. Even just doing this ritual that we are doing together, or asynchronous, I'm filming here, you're watching over there, even this produces oxytocin. It doesn't take a lot to be able to trigger these 3 chemicals. What it takes is being purposeful, and that's the entire goal of a locus of control. I want you to begin to think about all the different ways that you can begin to take back just small elements of control in your life. Set up a learning bucket list and a learning hour, or even 10 minutes. If you're parenting like me during quarantine, it's really hard to find alone time, but even just 10 minutes of learning a day can help you feel that you're more in control, which can help your well-being. Think about setting up rituals for yourself, as small as brushing your teeth rituals all the way to evening and sleep routine rituals. And lastly, share some of those rituals with some people in your life that you care about. I would be honored to help in any way that I can. I have tons of ideas on my blog if you'd like to check it out for social distancing and staying connected. And I want to thank you so much for taking this time to learn and connect and bond with me. All right, bye.